Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? We're back. Yeah, I heard Trish had technical difficulties and had to end her stream, so let's uh let's keep going here. I'll go early. A breaking developing story out of Sydney, Australia right now. Jesse Baird and another man named Luke Davis are missing. Authorities hold grave concerns for Jesse. Uh yes, I'm pretty sure they're looking for Jesse Baird. Yeah. Mr. Davies, I'll read it to you. Hold on. This just happened. There was a press conference 2 seconds ago. It says a huge search is underway to find an ex-Channel 10 presenter and his partner after their blood-stained clothes were dumped in the skip, which is a dumpster, and the TV star's blood-spattered home 30 kilometers away was declared a crime scene. Former 10 red carpet reporter Jesse Baird and his Qantas flight attendant boyfriend Luke Davies are missing from the TV producer's Paddington home in Sydney's east. Mr. Davies, 29, was believed to be with Mr. Baird, 26, in Paddington on Monday, but the pair then vanished, and the family, Mr. Davies, they don't write this very well. Mr. Davies' family was unable to contact him. A manhunt was launched after a pile of the couple's bloodied clothes was found in a large skip in the centre of Cronulla in Sydney South around 11 a.m. yesterday. Police then raced to Baird's home in Paddington, about 30 kilometres away, where they found a large amount of blood, including blood-stained furniture. I'm going to bring you a press conference in a second. Detectives are said to be looking for Mr. Bard and to find out if he can shed light on where his partner might be after Mr. Davies' home in Waterloo was also found to be empty. Police say they hold grave concerns for Mr. Davies and issued an urgent appeal for anyone with information to come forward. I'll now take you to that press conference that happened moments ago.
New South Wales Police are seeking a former Channel 10 presenter in connection with the disappearance of a man in the eastern suburbs. They addressed the media a short time ago, and we can bring that to you now.
Police are investigating the disappearance of two men from the Paddington area on Monday, the 19th of February. As a result of information provided to police yesterday and an amount of property that was located in a skip bin at Cronulla, inquiries were then centred on an address at 60 Brown Street, Paddington. From yesterday, when police entered the address at Paddington, it was declared a crime scene and forensic examinations took place. We are looking for information in regards to Jesse Baird, a 26-year-old male from Paddington, and Luke Davies, a 29-year-old male from Waterloo. Further inquiries led us to a property at Waterloo, which was the home of Luke. And anyone that has seen any of these people, or Jesse and Luke, if you're seeing this, please contact Waverley Police Station or Crime Stoppers.
What are you treating this as at the moment?
Suspicious missing person.
Two suspicious missing persons? We're not treating this as a murder. Maybe suicide?
We're not excluding any lines of inquiry. We are investigating everything we can. But at this stage, we would like to speak to either Luke or Jesse, or ideally both.
What was the relationship between the men?
They were in a relationship.
Do you believe both men may have met with foul play?
I couldn't tell you at this stage. We do believe from the crime scene at Paddington and from property that was located at Cronulla that there has been some sort of incident that has more than likely occurred at the Paddington address, and that has given us grave concerns for one, possibly both their safety.
Was that blood found in the location?
There's been blood found at both locations, both the Paddington address and in the bin at Cronulla.
When were they last seen? When were they both last sighted?
To the best of our knowledge, both persons were last seen on Monday the 19th.
What do you know about their final movements?
So their final movements is
So this press conference actually goes for a while. This police officer is probably one of the most interesting ones I've seen on an Australian press conference. She goes for ages and she answers like everyone's question. She gives details. I've never seen anything like it in Australia before. Normally they're very not, can't answer questions. I gotta go. Bye. See you later. And she's very, very good. They probably will. Considering what type of crime this might be, I'm guessing the Gap has such a tortured history for murders, and the other one that if they don't check it, I think that would be a mistake, being that it's so close by. We've spoken about the Gap before. So the Gap is known for people to jump off it, if that makes sense, and not return. So let's listen to the rest of this. I just wanted to let you know it does go for a while, but listen to the questions. She gives out a lot of details.
Investigation. We're working around the area of Brown Street, Paddington, on Monday the 19th in the morning through to the early evening.
Were they together when they were last seen?
I couldn't tell you that.
You can't tell us that. You know when you've been told when you last saw them.
No, they were last seen. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't.
There was a post to social media by one of them late on Tuesday evening. Are you able to draw any conclusions from that?
Well, the only conclusion that can be drawn from that is that that person was still was using social media on Tuesday evening. If he is still using social media, please contact police on 1-800-333-000. If someone, and any of the friends of Luke or Jesse, they were quite active on social media. If any of their friends know of their whereabouts, please contact us so we can speak to that person or to them.
Is there a possibility of any other third person of interest?
All lines of inquiry are open to investigators currently.
Was there an argument, an altercation, a confrontation that neighbours have told you about? Any yelling, any arguing on that evening?
So witnesses during the canvass yesterday talked about some shouting on Monday earlier in the morning.
Was Luke's wallet or phone found?
A phone has been located. I don't believe it's been identified yet. And some personal items have been found as well.
Including a wallet and credit cards?
There's some credit cards have been located as well as some keys.
At Cronulla?
At Cronulla, in the skip bin.
Any vehicles of interest? Are you looking for any cars or vans at this stage?
There are a number of vehicles in the inquiries, but I don't have any particular details about that.
Are there any outstanding that you're looking for?
2 cars were seized from the property at Paddington. A third car has since been located, so not at this stage.
And that third car?
Not to my knowledge. I believe so. A worker was putting some rubbish into one of the bins at the location and found some items that appeared to be unusual and contacted Cronulla Police to report it.
Whose credit cards were they?
I believe they are. Oh, sorry, I can't confirm.
With the can you tell us more about the sound of and the talk of the argument on Monday night?
Witnesses described a verbal argument, but it wasn't reported to police at the time. It was only reported to police yesterday during the canvass.
One of the things the reporters keep asking about is they keep asking about a third party. They keep saying, oh, there's a third party. What has that got to do with this? Do you know anything about this third person? Did you find a third car? They keep referencing this throughout the press conference, but she won't talk about it. So I don't, at the moment, they keep saying they're just looking for the 2 guys that were partners. They were partners. They were a gay couple. And these reporters keep asking about this third individual, and she won't answer to it. It's about the only thing in this entire press conference that she won't talk about. She'll talk about everything else. She'll give heaps of details, Third person won't talk about it. Bees Are Life says, okay, I see what you mean. A lot of information given about the investigation. Yeah, it's a lot. She gives heaps. She talks about canvassing. She'll talk about the crime scene in a second. She'll talk about how there's furniture moved around in the crime scene where it looks like there was like a disturbance or an argument or a fight or, something like that. Yeah, she gives quite a lot of details. So I don't think she's got about 3 minutes left, and then we'll get on to, yes, we will talk about the bushfire out of Ballarat after this. There's a huge bushfire going on about 250 kilometers west of me. So I can see the smoke on the radar right now. So it's not, I mean, it's far away, and what's crazy is it's Ballarat. It's where Samantha Murphy is missing from right now. There's a giant bushfire out there. All right, let's keep going.
Is that on the street or is that at the property? Was that inside the terrace or was it out on the street?
I don't think they knew where it was. It was just when police were canvassing yesterday, they talked about an argument coming from that vicinity.
And was that Monday night or Monday morning?
Monday morning.
Monday morning.
Had a couple of notice plates, arguments or anything?
No, not to my knowledge.
Have friends?
Not at this stage.
Was anything suspicious found at the Waterloo address?
I don't believe so. The Waterloo address is Luke Davies's home address, and an amount of items was seized.
Did anyone else live at the Paddington address?
Yes, and other people flat shared there.
Are you searching for Jesse's car at all, or is that one of the two that have been seized?
A car from each person has been located already. Yeah.
And what about the third car you seized later on? Where was that found and who does that belong to?
It belongs to one of the boys as well. I believe Jesse.
Have you tracked them to Cronulla? Have you tracked, obviously, the
It's very early stages in the investigation. This was only reported to police at lunchtime yesterday on the location of the property in the skip bin at Cronulla. It then took a little bit of time before it was then forwarded through. We went to Paddington. We're still processing the Paddington address.
Have their friends given you any indication that there was any unrest in their relationship? Was there any problem?
At this stage, we have not been able to speak to too many of the friends, but we are seeking anyone that has information. We do know that they were quite active on social media. We do know they had a good collection of friends, and if anyone knows anything, please contact us so we can, someone might know something that we don't at this stage.
Have you established the blood found at the scene in Paddington? Does that match any of
Not
the
as yet.
men that are missing?
It's all the forensic testing is being currently done.
Is the indication that the blood was sufficient to indicate a major or significant wound?
Yes.
Potentially a fatal wound?
Yes, possibly.
Sorry, why did you say in your media release that you were only had grave concerns for Luke's safety and not James's?
So until about 15 minutes ago, due to legal reasons, we hadn't been able to contact any next of kin of Jesse, and that has just occurred.
So now you have grave concerns for both of them?
Well, we do have grave concerns, and we have for both of them, and if either of them is seeing this, please contact us.
Aside from the blood, was there any other signs of a struggle?
Yes, there was a bit of furniture moved.
Were there any weapons?
Not to my knowledge.
The cars that have been seized, is there any evidence of blood or that sort of?
They are, of my most recent update, they were yet to be forensically examined. They have been seized, but they...
So obviously, if something's happened here, the body has, a person has been bleeding, has been removed. You weren't able to establish that in the cars that you've seized.
The cars were seized at the address.
Have police been able to track any bank transactions from either of them?
That's a line of inquiry that's being done.
Has Jesse been ruled out as a suspect at this stage?
Look, all lines of inquiry are open. If Jesse is seeing this, we'd ask him to contact us, as well as anyone that might know the whereabouts of Jesse.
So you're unaware of a third person, if you have a third person that may have been involved?
Our primary lines of inquiry currently are in regards to the whereabouts of Jesse and Luke. So if anyone knows where they are, if they could contact us.
Have you been able to trace where they last were based on their phones?
All those inquiries are being done.
Was there any attempts to clean up any blood or anything that was inside the Paddington property?
That is all still being investigated by forensic investigators. Thanks. Thanks all.
At the end, she sort of loses her patience. She's sort of like, Nah, stuff you guys. I've answered too many questions. I probably said too much. And before I give away the whole investigation, I'm going to leave. Bye. I'm out. She really gets out of there at the end. I'll show you some photos. Look here. This was actually, people were able to see this from the outside. And you can see what looks like possibly blood here. And maybe some other specks here and here and here and maybe here. This definitely, though. This definitely looks like dried blood. There's a bunch more too. Oh, won't let me. They took out their furniture to the outside, and look, you can tell it got wet. This is water damage from sitting on the wet pavement. It's been water damage now. But they took this out so they could roll up the carpet and take the carpet out because there is so much blood in that property. They're saying that they needed to take the carpet fully out. Police at the crime scene. Here's a photo of Jesse Baird. Here's a photo of one of them. So Jesse Baird, right? And then Luke Davies here. Luke is the one I think they're most concerned about, that he may be the one whose blood is everywhere. And Jesse is the one they're looking for on the right here. Luke is the one they think he is the one who might have been attacked. And this is the one they're looking for. Or at least I think so. I mean, I don't know why they would ask for one and not the other, unless they were the person of interest. But yeah, they would like to know where this guy is. You can see forensic police at the scene. Look at all the stuff they've pulled out, all their property just sitting out on the sidewalk. There's a forensic van, forensic tech, forensic police inside as well. Still there the next day. You see all their toolkits and working gear. Got their overalls on and the booties. I don't know what she's holding. It almost looks like a pair of like pliers or something. Here you go. So very strange. So let's go back. What happened? A man called in to report that there had been items of interest found in this skip. Bloody items, bloody pieces of clothing of the couples was found in this bin, became a crime scene. Then they went to this property down here, this property. And when they went into this property, they found a lot of blood. They found a lot of blood and furniture tipped over, moved around, signs of a struggle. Then they raced to another apartment where Luke lives, and that particular apartment, it was empty. There was no one there. I don't think they said they didn't find anything in that particular apartment, but in the Paddington apartment they did. So yes, definitely a big crime scene. They also admitted the amount of blood they found could possibly be enough to kill someone. So that's a lot of blood. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of blood-stained items, carpets, So a very sad story. Hoping that they can find them. Possibly that they're both alive somewhere, but it's interesting that no one's seen them since yesterday, or maybe the day before. And they're saying police are looking for anyone with information about Luke's whereabouts or who may have information relevant to the investigation. Contact Waverley Police. Yeah, it says Luke was in Paddington on Monday. He has not been seen since. His family have been unable to contact him. Yeah, they're very worried about Luke. And they're trying to find Jesse, which is the middle one here. It's only just happened. It just broke here like a few hours ago. So we're still trying to come up to speed ourselves about what happened. But like I said, I can tell you that the alarm was raised when that workmen found those bloody clothes in the dumpster. That happened, and they started piecing it together. Went to the properties, found the blood and the crime scene, but cannot find either of the men. So this afternoon they did that press conference, and they're asking for people to look out for them. Where are they? Do you see them? Call it in. Call into Crime Stoppers. Let me find the number. They want you to call 1-800-333-000 if you have any information in relation to this particular case. And yeah, hopefully this gets done fairly quickly. Here's another photo of both of them. If you see either of these men somewhere, call it in. In Sydney, Australia. And it happened in the suburbs of, pretty sure it was Paddington and Waterloo, but yes, Paddington in Sydney's east. And there was another location in Cronulla. Cronulla is where the dumpster with the bloody clothes was found. And one of the men also lived at Waterloo. The Waterloo apartment, there was just no one there. It was empty. There's no signs of anyone having been there either. So the two main locations are Paddington and Cronulla. So the Cronulla crime scene is over 30 kilometers away from the house in Paddington. So quite a distance. It's not close by. It's quite a while away. This property here. Hey, Lux. So quite a distance between them. They're not like exactly close. They're a bit far away. I was going to show you something. So that's about all the information we have on that one right now. If there's more, they'll call a press conference. Another one. Now I wanted to show you something. Check this out. You might think this is rain. This is not rain. This is a bushfire. This is smoke from the fire. The fire is located just here. And this is all smoke streaming off the fire right now. It's going to be covering Geelong and Western Melbourne and Melbourne Airport tonight, this afternoon. And eventually it'll make it across the bay to southeast Melbourne. But this is a pretty big fire to be showing up that well on the radar. That's a huge fire. And the winds right now out in Victoria, the winds are going quite fast. It has been a real windy day down here. It is also really hot. It's about 100 degrees out there right now. And so it's hot, it's dry, there's no rain, and there's a ton of wind. 26 kilometers an hour northerlies right now. So it's 16 miles an hour winds to the north right now, northerly winds. So very hot, dry with 16 mile an hour winds. I mean, not super strong, but strong enough for okay. Hold on. Actually, do you hear that? I think it's a firefighting helicopter just went over me. Is that what it is? Yes, it was. That was a firefighting helicopter that just went over me. One of those big ones, like Elvis. You know Elvis and Georgia Peach. That's what that noise was. That was a Sikorsky sky crane. That was loud as hell. That just went over my house. They must be going to the fires. Here, I'll show you. One of these guys just went over my property. You know how I knew it was? Because there's only one thing that sounds like a Sikorsky sky crane, and that's that. They are so loud, and they have a completely different noise to normal helicopters. Yeah, that's what just flew over my place. I don't think it's that one. I think it's this one that sucks up all the water from the lake or whatever and dumps it on the fire. But I don't know why it's heading. Here, I'll show you. There he is. I don't know where he's going. Where are you going, buddy? I don't know where he's going. He missed the airport. Airport's here. Oh, he might turn and come in. There's the airport. If he takes a turn here, he's probably going to go land. Surprised he's not out in Ballarat, but he might need fuel. Yeah, he's going to go to the airport. He's going to go get refueled. Geez, he went a long way to come in from Ballarat. Came over we have a big bay here in Melbourne, so he flew over the bay to get down here. But it's a sky crane. There you go. Fires are getting pretty wild down here. Let me show you. Here you go. There's a view from the fires right now. It is Beaufort residents should leave now, says CFA. Let's see what Vic Emergency says right now. Nope, not that one. Where is that? So I'll show you here. This is where the fire is right now. All these warnings. Look, all this area. This is the emergency warning. Leave immediately, and this is just like stay informed, like watch and act. So right here is where all the serious stuff's happening. What does it say? Emergency warning issued for all these different counties. What you guys would consider a county. This bushfire is not yet under control. The bushfire is traveling in a southeasterly direction. Leave immediately is the safest option before conditions become too dangerous. Emergency services may not be able to help you if you decide to stay. Yeah, there's another warning after this. It becomes like a catastrophic warning, and it basically means you're screwed. Like if you stay, you're done. It's basically very, very bad. It's like the worst it can be. So many spot fires. All these, it's not working right now apparently because all the little photos are not there. There's normally little fire photos here, but these are all spot fires. All these little white boxes. These are all little spot fires everywhere. All these little white boxes. So it must be. What do they say? It was going in the southeasterly direction. So it's moving in this direction. So these are probably all coming out in front of the front of the fire, maybe. I don't know. Not a fireman. Here you go. Bushfire. Bushfire. Building fire. Oh no, someone lost their home. That's very sad. Is that a home? Yeah. People losing homes. It's not what you want to see. Yeah. Yeah, the koala with the firefighter with the koala. Yeah. That's very kind of you. Yeah, we used to have fun. All right. No more fire. Oh, I mean, I can. Hold on. Is there any photos of it? Let's have a look. This was the
So the latest is we do have a fire at a place called Bayendine. It's currently burning in parklands. It is grown significantly in the last couple of minutes. In fact, it is starting to throw spots into surrounding areas. We have emergency warning in place with a leave immediately for those communities of Bayendine, Biwanga, Middle Creek and Mount Cole. We also have in place a watch and act with a prepare to evacuate message issued for the nearby areas for Biwanga East, Chute, Urrumbine, Main Lead, Raglan and Waterloo. This fire is quite large. It is currently been experiencing significant wind gusts and instability, and we do expect the fire size to continue to rapidly grow over the next hour or two. And residents in that area need to put their bushfire survival plan into action now. Have the Vic Emergency app with you. We will be issuing further alerts and information to communities around that, including communities up to and in around Beaufort. We are experiencing and getting reports of spot fires starting to occur to the west of Beaufort, also impacting the Western Highway. So it is a very dynamic and ever-changing situation at the moment. The temperatures are really, really hot. Those winds are really, really blowing. We haven't seen that frontal system move through yet, and communities near that fire really need to get ready to take action now.
Yeah, it sounds like, I mean, these are the worst possible bushfire conditions. Do we have any sense of how long these strong winds will continue and these high temperatures? Will we see any respite?
We're not going to see respite across much of the state until about 5 o'clock this evening, and then coming into Melbourne around 6 o'clock through to the Gippsland regions at around 9 o'clock this evening. So
he's saying that there should be a change, a weather change coming through at about 5 o'clock from the north, I think, or the south, I'm not sure. And it's not expected to reach Melbourne until 6 p.m. That's about an hour and 40 minutes from now. So we'll see. It should drop the temperature somewhat, but the change may bring more thunderstorms and possibly lightning activity, which could spark more fires. So it'll drop the temperature a bit, but may cause more fires. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We still have a number of hours where communities and firefighters will be challenged by these really hot northerly winds. But we need to remember that there is that wind change coming through. Whilst it will bring cooler temperatures, it is actually going to bring increased wind speeds from the west and the southwest up to potentially 80 kilometres an hour or more. And that's going to be the real peak danger time for communities. Remembering that one side of this fire will then become the main head of the fire as it travels east. So it is really important for those communities surrounding Beaufort that they keep up to date, have that Vic Emergency app open now and be ready to put into act your bushfire survival plan.
And the emergency warning in place at the moment, those towns being asked to evacuate, they're quite small populations. Given these spot fires and the movement of the fire, are you concerned that these could reach communities with larger populations as well?
We are very watching the fire and we're also watching what's happening with that upper atmospheric level. When fires get to a certain size, they generate their own wind, they generate their own weather system, and this fire is currently doing that. The smoke column has reached approximately 10 kilometres into the sky.
10K into the sky, the smoke column has reached. If they're unlucky, it may start producing its own weather system. We've talked about that before. Pyrocumular. We'll see. I wanted to show you this, actually. This is the fire right here. And you can see all these planes doing bombing action right now. Look at this. This is a 737-300, a huge plane doing water runs. It's a bomber, so it says bomber there. This guy too, this is a Lockheed C-130. That's a big plane. And what's this one? This is a small little guy. This is a DHC-8 400-8. It's a smaller than the other two. And here's another one doing different. So they go and refuel and come back and drop it. Go and redrop it. They go and get more water. This guy's been doing long ones, like long runs. What is that? Is there a C-130? So that's like a military aircraft. Well, they did. They flew them for civilians as well. But I've never seen a 737 doing water runs. But it looks like it came down from a long way away. Actually, where'd it come from? All the way from Canberra? No, Richmond. Jeez, came from ages away. Came all the way down here. And then it did a bit of a loop. Oh, it might be doing thermal. It might be doing like thermal. Either that or it ran out of fuel and it's got to go get fuel. But it could be doing thermal mapping. I'm not sure though, because that's a weird run. It just came in, did a loop, came back around, did a loop, and then took off. As where you can see some of these guys, they're doing like, full day in, day out, firefighting on different fronts of the fire. So I don't know what he's up to. Might be taking photos or something. And there's more down here. Jeez. More these guys helicopters doing spot fires, maybe. Look how many bloody planes they've got out here doing different firefighting techniques. Jeez. It must be really big. You got all these aircraft in the air right now helping. Got another one on the way. And then that one looks like it is trying to get away from it. That's a lot of aircraft. I've seen this before, but not that many on one fire. All right. Nah, I don't think that was ever true. Oh, it came from the Air Force Base. Okay, that makes sense. It's military. So it's probably doing thermal run or something like that. It's probably doing like intel. It's probably coming in, taking a whole crapload of photos and then taking it back to base to tell them what the fire looks like or what direction it's going or what the smoke column looks like or something like that. Use analytics and cameras to detect smoke on the horizon. Well, that's better than having someone up in a cabin with binoculars like they used to have. Yeah, it's hot. It's real hot out there right now. It's about 92 degrees right now out there. All right. We can do a true crime story. Yeah, Sean, I saw this one earlier today. I didn't do it. I'm not sure why. I just ran out of time earlier, maybe. But there was a little girl who died in a sand collapse. She was with her 9-year-old brother on a beach. I'm guessing this is Florida. Broward County, that's Florida. It says a 7-year-old girl and her 9-year-old brother were hospitalized after they became trapped in a sand hole on a Florida beach Tuesday, according to Broward County Sheriff's Office. The children were digging a hole on a beach in Lauderdale by the sea when they became trapped in the sand around 3 p.m. The hole was 6 feet deep and collapsed on the children. According to police dispatch, about 20 people were digging on the scene trying to find and rescue the children. The boy was submerged up to his neck and the girl was buried when authorities pulled them out. Paramedics took the children to hospital, but the girl was later pronounced dead. The boy is recovering at Broward Health Medical Center and is in a stable condition. The sheriff's office said the children and their parents were on vacation from Indiana and that the incident remains under investigation. CNN has reached out to the sheriff's office, the sheriff's fire rescue department, and other agencies for information. Yeah, this happened a little while ago. There was another kid who this happened to, and he also died. Teach your kids, don't try and build the world's largest hole at the beach. Yeah, how awful. You go on holidays, expect to have a fun time, and then this happens. Really, really awful. Holidays are supposed to be fun, not sad. Let's see if there's a little video.
Changed. That's how the mother of the 7-year-old who died in a sand hole describes how she's feeling tonight. The girl was playing in the sand with her older brother on the beach when it collapsed, burying the two.
The brothers survived and new tonight. A national lifeguard organization says the tragedy possibly have been prevented if that beach had been guarded. Jamie Garola is live in Lauderdale by the Sea with more tonight. Jamie.
Yeah, the mom tonight on Facebook post calling this a freak accident. The family has since returned home to Indiana. Wednesday night on Facebook, we're hearing for the first time from the family of 7-year-old Sloan Mattingly. Sloan was playing in the sand in Lauderdale by the Sea when it collapsed on her, killing her. In a post, her mother writes, "Don't tell us you're sorry for our loss. Don't do that to us. We experienced the purest human being, and we are forever changed by her. We love you beyond any stretch of the imagination. Our sweet Sloan, what we would give."
Oh my God, they're still digging and yelling. Oh my God. Okay, don't hang up the phone, ma'am, okay?
911 calls and video captured people on the beach screaming for help and trying to scoop up sand with their hand to rescue Sloan. Sloan's older brother, Maddox, was buried chest deep, but he survived.
It's just tragic and very, very preventable, which makes it even more tragic.
Jim McGrady is the lifeguard chief in Hollandale Beach and has been a lifeguard for 37 years. He also represents the United States Life-Saving Association, an association of lifeguards and ocean rescue.
If this had been a guarded beach, the chances of this happening would have been very slim.
McGrady says most lifeguard agencies across the country have protocols to prevent sandhole tragedies from happening. But Lauderdale by the Sea doesn't have lifeguards.
It's criminal that Lauderdale by the Sea doesn't have a professional lifeguard service.
McGrady also says 95% of what lifeguards do is preventative, spotting hazards on the beach, mitigating danger to people.
One of the things we look for is we look for people digging holes in the beach. And as soon as we see that happening, we walk up to the people involved and we tell them the dangers involved.
I reached out to Lauderdale by the Sea about not having lifeguards. A PR rep says when she has information, she'll share it. Reporting live tonight in Lauderdale by the Sea, Jamie Garola, NBC.
How sad. What a cute little girl. This was in Broward County, Florida. I've never seen a shovel with a lifeguard, but they might have one back at the tent or the little thing they sit in. Yeah, teach the parents, don't let your kids build a hole to China. Don't let them do that. Because this happens so often. So often. I thought I'd show you some more photos from down here. Apparently this was taken earlier. This was before they issued the evacuation order. It's a pretty big fire. Some people. And then this was the map that they had. Look at all those spot fires. It's just everywhere. The more you get down, the more fires there are. He said there's 30 spot fires and a main fire. There's another fire in Peninsula Link. It's under control though. Yeah, bonkers. I was going to actually, this is what I'm going to show you. They were talking about a change earlier. You'll see it right now. These are northerlies. And then they get picked up during the day. And then the wind's going to start changing. It starts changing from a northerly to a southerly all of a sudden. At about 4 p.m., that change comes through. And then you get this southerly come up. So that's the change we're expecting. So all of a sudden the fire is going to be heading south. And then when the change comes through, it's going to reverse direction and head north. So it's going to act a little funny once that change goes through a bit later today. It's going to change direction for a bit. I don't think it picks up quite as bad, does it? Yeah. Maybe tomorrow. Not as strong as earlier. When you see that red, that's really bad. When you see all that red, that means it's real. That's a temperature. So, but you can see how fast it's going. No wonder the fires were a bit crazy today. I don't know how this started. Could be anything. Could be someone Could be dry fuel out there. Some spark caused it. Could be a cigarette. Could be a firebug. Could be deliberately lit. Could be, I heard of one in another bushfire where someone was actually using an angle grinder, and a ember from the angle grinder caused a bushfire. There could be downed power lines, mufflers on a car. There's so many things that cause fires. Could be just about anything. I don't think they've said what it is yet, whether there is a cause or not. I was just going to see if we have an update for the one in Sydney, but I don't think so. No. Jesse Baird. Let me have a look. They're just saying the police are investigating a suspicious disappearance of Network 10 presenter Jesse Baird, or Baird. Just make up words and they lose all meaning. And his partner Luke Davies from Sydney's eastern suburbs after bloody items were found in a skip bin. It says, we do believe from the crime scene at Paddington and from the property that was located at Cronulla that there has been some sort of incident that has more than likely occurred at the Paddington address, and that has given us grave concerns for one, possibly both, their safety. Radmore said blood was found at the Paddington address and on possessions that belonged to both men found earlier on Wednesday in a skip bin in Cronulla. She said the amount of blood suggested someone had suffered a significant or major wound. That's never what you want to hear. Police said it was far too early to tell whether either man had met foul play. There's a New South Wales Police Force tweet. Can you help us find Luke? They would like you to find Luke and Jesse. So there you go. What? Oh my god, I got a fright of my life. I thought they found like the rest of Melissa Caddick. I was like, no way, they found the rest of her body. But this is just when they found the foot. I freaked out for a second. I was like, wow, they found the rest of her? Nah. They said within that shoe were the remains of a foot. That's all they ever found of her. A foot. They didn't find the rest of her. I don't think her body will ever be found. The only thing they'll ever be able to bury is that shoe and her foot. That's it. I still believe it's probably most likely the simplest explanation is probably the correct one, is that she jumped from those cliffs near her home when she realized that her Ponzi scheme had crashed down and she couldn't be the person who fronted everyone and admitted all the bad things that she did, and it would take away her entire lifestyle that she had hung a lot of her self-worth on. She couldn't do it. So she picked up all her stuff, made the decision, and jumped off the cliffs near her home. A few months later, we found a shoe with a foot. Yeah, Dover Height. Possibly in a shark somewhere. What is it? I still don't... What a fire accumulator is? What's a fire accumulator? I don't even know what a fire accumulator is. I don't think she's alive. I think she's well gone. I'm not sure what a fire accumulator is either. You have to tell me what I said in better English and then I can tell you what I mean. I don't know what a fire accumulator is. We can look it up, but I don't know what that is. I don't know. I don't even know what this is. It says this. It is attached to a hydrant or hose reel or sprinkler system. An accumulator tank is a chamber with an integrated bladder that forms part of a jacking pump arrangement to store a volume of pressured air. The air is connected to a pump outlet and serves several purposes. I have no idea. No, it's a smoke plume. So that's this like smoke tower, like going up from the fire. Maybe I can show you. That's not what I want. Hold on. All right, there we go. All right. So this, see, smoke plume? This is a smoke plume here. This bit here. Anything that raises from the fire in this kind of like this look here, this is a smoke plume. And this is cloud, and you get it like, so this sort of shows you how, sort of shows you in a way how a bushfire can start its own thunderstorm. And it's, you know, smoke, the plume cools and it creates cloud. Then it takes a lot. You need a lot of like burning and then wind, and you need a lot of the right conditions. And it can create downbursts, lightning, tornadoes. It acts like a normal thunderstorm, but it's connected to a fire, not a thunderstorm that you would know from, you know, normal thunderstorms. It's made by the fire and connected to the fire. So, but that's a smoke plume there. I don't think I ever said, I don't even know what the word accumulator means. I mean, I could have said it. I just didn't know what it meant. I did say that it could have been like a fire bug, which, if you don't know what that is, that's like an arsonist who sets fires. I could have said that. But there you go. There's an example of what a fire-generated storm looks like. So bushfires can have double whammy. They can burn things and then cause their own lightning, which creates more fires, or they can cause downbursts or tornadoes and destroy houses. Oh, cumulus? Oh, maybe I said cumulus, which that's what this is. This is cumulus cloud. When the fire makes its own weather system, it makes cumulus clouds. So, and then it turns into, you know, cumulonimbus, and then you get thunderstorm, and there you go. Yes, cumulus clouds. So that's what that is. That's what this is here up the top. This white section here, all here. So there you go. You got a little bit of a science lesson about, if you didn't know fires could do that, they can. So fires are very dangerous, and there have been tornadoes before. Actually, 2-3 years ago, there was a firefighter fighting a fire on the border of New South Wales and Victoria. A tornado inside the fire picked up his fire truck and threw it. I mean, a big, 20-ton fire truck picked it up and threw it, killed the driver, killed the fireman. think he's considered the first death of a firefighter by tornado in Australia. I think so. Anyway, it was a big deal, and yeah, it was really horrible. I actually was impressed by the fact that it picked up a fire truck. Do you know how much weight that is? It would have had to have been an extraordinarily strong tornado to do it. So a typical fire truck weighs 20,000 to 40,000 pounds, and it picked that up and threw it and killed the driver. So I wish I could show you. Hold on. Yeah, I can show you. Where is it? It's down here somewhere. Here. The inquiry heard extreme weather conditions caused a rare fire tornado or fire-generated vortex that generated winds up to 320 kilometers an hour. About 5:45 p.m., the fire tornado hit and overturned the 10-ton RFS Isuzu truck. The windshield was later found 60 meters away. Although the three occupants was Among the three occupants was Samuel McPaul, 28, who died of suspected traumatic asphyxia. RFS Group Captain John Hawkins witnessed the tornado building up. It was a large column of black smoke swirling in a clockwise direction, throwing burning logs and sticks and leaves out into the surrounding paddocks. In his submission, he said, "I hadn't seen anything like this tornado before." A Bureau of Meteorology report found that the conditions surrounding Green Valley were favorable to a fire tornado due to an unstable atmosphere, the presence of high base pyrocumulus clouds, and the location of the fire. The Bureau said the tornado's path of destruction was up to 60 meters wide, and the destructive winds were short-lived. The trees were ripped out of the ground and found up to 100 meters away. New South Wales Police Detective Acting Inspector Hassan El Kassan said he was from the arsonist unit, described the geography in Woolmagama, a national park about 30 kilometers north of Albury, as being remote and mountainous. He said there was no suggestion of driver error in the fatality. 320 kilometers an hour. What is that in miles? Let's see. It's 200 miles per hour winds. 200. Wow. It would have been considered an EF4 tornado. That might be the strongest fire tornado ever on record. That needs a lot more research because I really believe that might be the first EF4 ever to come out of a fire, a bushfire. They have had them before. The one in Canberra in 2003 was estimated to be an F3 rating. This is estimated to be around the EF4 rating. Might be the strongest tornado on record as well in Australia in about 30 years. And it came out of a freak event inside a fire. That's crazy. They need to do a lot. Bureau of Meteorology needs to do a lot more research into that. Depends what time it was, Sean. There's two. There's one called a fire whirl. That more looks like it spins across the ground, like sort of stretches up and down. or you have one that actually forms from a pyrocumulus cloud, and that acts like a full-on thunderstorm that puts down a funnel from the cloud base to the ground. That is a fire tornado. The other one is a fire whirl. Like this one said, they had logs and trees being thrown out of the tornado, hitting the paddocks around them and setting fire to everything. So it was like basically hell on earth. Danny Mitchell says cricket. The cricket, I think he means the sport, not the actual animal. Hold on. So yeah, they did an inquest into that death of that firefighter a while ago. Very sad that he had to die in such a historic weather event. I mean, yeah, it was in a very remote region, judging by the inquest. What are they saying now? Thousands of customers have been cut off from power, schools have closed, and transport is disrupted as extreme weather crosses the Victorian state. Oh, okay, they're just saying that there's a lot of bad weather in the state today. I think we're going to wrap up, everyone, because I'm just mumbling at this point and talking weather. It's not what we do on this channel. We talk true crime normally. And I don't have any more updates about the wait, I don't want Taylor Swift. I don't have any more updates about the 2 people missing from Sydney either. That's interesting. We can watch this. You can see the police working in the background of his Paddington unit. That was a chest of drawers from their house. That definitely looks like blood. It's very awful. A lot of police. A whole heap of them. Hope they find them, and quickly. I really do. Hope they find both those very, very fast. Thanks, Laura. 100 meters or more? It just depends. You have to look at the circumstances surrounding it. It's hard to know. I've seen some of those firewalls look huge. There was one in Canada that was it wasn't actually a tornado, it was a firewall, and it was like 40 meters wide, and it was circulating on the ground and throwing sticks and stuff around, so they get pretty big. Yeah, we will do a more weather ones when the United States storm season kicks into high gear. When that happens, we'll do, like, if there's high risk tornado days, we might do coverage of tornadoes out in like Oklahoma and Kansas and Missouri. We'll see. Anyway, it's just before 5 o'clock here in Australia, and the change is coming through. Everything's gone really dark. It was really bright about 40 minutes ago, and everything's become really dull. It might be smoke as well, I don't know. But it's become really dull here. So I'm going to log off for the night, and I'll see you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, for more Nights with Ping. It was great to see everyone in the chat. Hope you enjoyed this bonus coverage late show. Until tomorrow, 9 o'clock. I'll see you later. See you later, guys. Peace out. Bye-bye.